The year is 2025. Air Force One, a hulking symbol of American might, cuts through the shimmering desert air. Its destination, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. The first stop on President Trump's whirlwind tour of the Middle East. This wasn't just another diplomatic visit, it was a salesman's pilgrimage to the land of black gold and boundless ambition. Trump, never one to shy away from spectacle, received a welcome fit for a king. Or perhaps a real estate tycoon with a penchant for gold-plated everything. Opulent receptions awaited. Crowds cheered. The scent of power, perfumed with jet fuel and desperation, hung heavy in the air. This was more than a handshake, more than a photo op. This was about deals. Big deals. Deals that would shake the foundations of the Middle East and reverberate across the globe. Deals that would make America, or at least certain Americans, very, very rich. The numbers were staggering, even by Trump's standards. Saudi Arabia, flush with oil money and eager to please, pledged a jaw-dropping $600 billion in investments across various U.S. sectors. Energy, defense, tech, you name it, they bought it. Or at least promised to. And then there was the small matter of the $142 billion arms deal, the largest in U.S. history. Fighter jets, missile defense systems, drones that could kill with surgical precision from miles away. The tools of war, wrapped in a bow of diplomacy, and delivered with a salesman's grin. Qatar, not wanting to be outdone, threw its own hat into the ring. A $1.2 trillion exchange agreement, encompassing everything from natural gas to artificial intelligence. And let's not forget the United Arab Emirates, eager to cement its place as a global tech hub, ponying up $200 billion for a piece of the American tech pie. This wasn't just about money, although there was certainly a lot of that sloshing around. This was about power, about forging alliances and drawing battle lines in the shifting sands of the Middle East. The message was clear. Iran, you're not invited to this party. Trump's Middle East tour was as much about who he visit as who he did. Israel, America's longtime ally in the region, was conspicuously absent from the itinerary. A deliberate snub, some said, designed to send a message to both Tel Aviv and Tehran. Syria, on the other hand, was brought in from the cold. Trump, in a move that shocked many, met with Ahmed al-Sharaa, the man who had filled the power vacuum left by Assad's demise. Sanctions were lifted, reconstruction projects were greenlit. A new era, or so it seemed, was dawning in the war-torn nation. This was realpolitik at its most transactional. Alliances were fluid. Enemies could become friends, or at least business partners if the price was right. And in the new Middle East, money talked louder than ever. Silicon and surveillance, the digital arms race heats up. But it wasn't just about bombs and missiles. This was also a digital gold rush. The race for artificial intelligence, for the ability to process information, track enemies, and wage war in the digital realm, was on. And Trump was determined to ensure that America, and perhaps a few of his close associates, came out on top. Deals were struck with Silicon Valley giants. NVIDIA, AMD, Google, Amazon, the titans of tech all lined up to offer their wares. Data centers sprang up in the desert, humming with the power of 1 million processors. Algorithms were honed. Drones learned to think for themselves, to kill with chilling efficiency. Abu Dhabi, not content with simply being a customer, announced its own ambitious plans. An AI data hub, the largest outside the United States. The future of warfare, it seemed, would be written in ones and zeros, and controlled from air-conditioned rooms thousands of miles from the battlefield. Section 5. A blind eye to injustice profits over principles. But amid the fanfare and the deal-making, a darker truth lay hidden. Human rights, worker protections, those were mere inconveniences, brushed aside in the pursuit of profit and geopolitical advantage. Trump, never one to let a good crisis go to waste, used the chaos and instability of the Middle East to enrich himself and his cronies. His business empire, with its web of hotels, golf courses, and licensing deals, expanded deeper into the region. Conflicts of interest? What conflicts of interest? The plight of migrant workers, toiling in dangerous conditions for meager wages, went unmentioned. The silencing of dissidents, the crushing of dissent, the erosion of basic freedoms. All of it was swept under the rug, deemed an acceptable price to pay for stability and access to oil. Section 6, the Empire's Scorecard, a legacy of deals and deceit. So, what was the final tally of Trump's Middle East adventure? On paper, a resounding success. Billions, if not trillions of dollars in deals. A reshaped geopolitical landscape. America's enemies contained, its allies, well, let's just say, realigned. But at what cost? The Middle East, already a tinderbox of tension and instability, was left even more volatile. The arms race, both the conventional and the digital kind, had accelerated, and the fundamental rights of millions of people were trampled underfoot in the name of profit and power. This wasn't diplomacy, this wasn't statecraft, this was empire management, 21st century style. A game played with lives and livelihoods where the only winners were the ones who knew how to count their money. And that's the real legacy of Trump's Middle East visit. A testament to the enduring power of greed and the ease with which we turn a blind eye to injustice when it suits our interests.